Hello. So I know you guys said you wanted me to do this again, so I thought I'd come in and well, start another one. I'm going to try to end literally at 3 this time because I do need to try to get sleep. But we've got a small crowd, so it looks like it might be easier to do. So how's everyone's writing been? I think I've only done a few more words uh, during the day. I am really a nighttime writer. I decided I would sit on a chair this time instead of my papu-san, so I didn't have my computer on my lap. Sorry, that's my cat in the background. He's actually not sleeping this time. Normally he does. Well, should we jump right into sprints or... Oh, I never get a chance to go to any morning streams. I literally just, I don't. It's just nothing I've ever done because I've given up a long time ago on trying to make it to morning streams for any reason. See if I can tilt the camera a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to. That might work. My computer is over there this time, letting me see any comments or stuff on that end. So, I guess I can say, hi, I'm Catherine Fay. I write a dark fiction, mostly urban fantasy or contemporary fantasy, just some type of fantasy. I am? How am I advertised as the host? That's something I never saw before. Let me see. One moment. Hmm. That must have been something I forgot. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to be there, won't I? Yeah. I think we set it up a while ago, so I had forgotten and I hadn't gotten any little bits and pieces of reminding. So, okay. It's okay. It happens. Be definitely back to back. So then, shall we do the first stream or shall we wait? Probably till 105. We can wait till 105. And you think we should do a 10-minute or 20-minute? Yeah, you let me know. I think there's only one person in the chat right now, so that'll help. Maybe two. Thank you for reminding me, Devin. I completely forgot. Like I said, it was set up. It was set up such a long time ago that I think I would have had that on my calendar. I probably do actually have it on my calendar, knowing me. Hello, Stephanie. It's good to see you here. Yeah, I'm looking at it and going, I wonder if I'm going to end up cutting the stream early now because it's 10 o'clock. I forgot about that. I'm still going to do something, though. I think my cat just broke into the bedroom. Anyways, would you guys want to do a 10-minute warm-up sprint or do we want to go straight to a 20-minute? Well, I guess I'm going to elect a 10-minute warm-up stream, and we will start in at 1:05. I know your superstitions because I'm very much on a or oh your suggestions. I'm trying to because there's a big difference in like this gives me the one on my phone, StreamYard take it doesn't give me everything quickly. So since it is on the 5, we are going to do a 10-minute warm up, and that's going to be in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, that's time with the first sprint. How did everyone do? I got 306 words. Don't think that's too bad for an opening. And how has everyone's writing been today? Nice, Stephanie. 150 words. That's a great opener. Writing can be very difficult. I know I would be technically cheating a bit because I'm editing, but there are so many words that I'm adding and taking out of, and I understand, Stephanie. I might not actually be streaming too long either because Devin reminded me that I have a stream at 10 in the morning and I need to contact I need to contact her and try to get the link too. It was set up months ago, so naturally, even if it's in my calendar, I forgot. So, but yeah, you need to take care of yourself. It's understandable. Definitely understandable. Yeah, I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, it said it was 8 hours until, so which is fine. I mean, I'll still get a good amount of sleep regardless. I'm one of those people that doesn't need too much sleep. For everyone that is joining, you're joining just now. We are doing some late night sprints, and I know that I definitely have to end this at 3. I might end it at 2:30 because I actually have a sprint that I'm co-hosting at 10 in the morning. So trying to get a little sleep, but I do want to get some words in. Yeah, I do appreciate that, Devin, putting the link in the chat. I'll contact her because I don't think she sent me my link yet, which means I need that. My phone, my other computer's having issues. There we go. Sorry, I have to do double duty with my two computers. So, do you guys want to do another sprint um, at 125 maybe? We can do a 20-minute. We could do one at 120, but that's like in 1 minute. So, it's going to give people more time if they want. Make sure you're hydrating and you're saving your words. And if you want to share what you're writing in the chat, go ahead. Good with 20 or 25? Let me see. Do 20 for 20, that'd be 140. what the hey? We'll sprint once. We'll sprint now because it is 1:20. So we're going to sprint for 20 minutes. So we'll meet back here at 1:40, and it's going to be in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, that's time. How'd everyone do? I got 514 words. I'm trying to rework a passage in this current manuscript, and it's kind of hitting me for right now. It's because I took out one of my plots, and now I'm trying to unravel what I had started. That's awesome, Stephanie. Working on chapter 6. How's the novel coming along? Is it easier to write the sequel, or do you think it's a little harder to write it? I personally find writing sequels can be much harder because I've cemented everything in stone in the first book, so I can't experiment as much. That's what I get for being a pantser, though, and not a plotter. It looks like Devin says he's doing research. What are you researching? And I normally count words for researching too if I'm writing stuff down. Part of me thinks I should have counted the query letters I sent out today, but I keep copying and pasting and just tweaking them here and there for the specific agency. So I don't think they count. I'm finding it harder because the second book will have less real life inspiration and more totally made up stuff. Interesting. Like what type of made up stuff? I mean, if you're able to share, it might be spoilers. I don't know. Right now, I've got my Grim Reaper at a zoo visiting her client, and the hot detective came in, and she's asking, "Well, what are you doing here?" Because he's asking her what clients don't find the morgue to be a comfortable thing, and he had answered her question that the zoo's a public place. I can be wherever I want, unless of course you want me to tell everyone to scram until you leave with your client. A little bit of a tete-a-tete with a human. Let's see. Because the first book was based on traumatic childhood stuff. Second book is following main character as she goes through her 20s. Imagine lots of boys, bars, etc. In my 20s, I was so opposite of that. Never went to bars, never went and saw boys. I had a very boring life, but I think I blame it on being a Capricorn. I mean, I've been kind of adult-like for so long that I find that I'm aging down and becoming younger. Like, it's hard to believe that I'm in my mid 30s when I'm like, I don't feel it. Is that why you think it's a lot more imagining? Did you also not do a lot of that when you were in your 20s? Capricorn too. So then you probably also grew up with a hard work ethic and like I don't know, knowing how to pay the bills and having a job early, not doing too much quote fun stuff. Yeah, I mean the best thing I can think of is trying to talk to any 20-year-olds now. There are some writers that are in their 20s. Ask them. My birthday is in January. It's January 2nd. My husband's is the 27th of December. So we have a very, very tight last of the year, first of the year thing going on. And yes, two Capricorns can get along in a relationship just fine. Oh, yours is the first. My great grandmother's was the first. See, now we're so close there in the birthdays. Devin's a Leo. Devin, did you do a lot of partying? And that's assuming that he's no longer in his 20s or is in his 20s. Nice. Yeah, it was interesting how I used to not have anyone that was in the January range until I started, like, I stayed long enough in America that my friends were having children, or they were having nieces and nephews, and they were born on the second. So went from only me being on the second to about five or six on the second, and I think it's hilarious. I was actually the second baby born that year in the birthing hospital. It is no longer here. In your 40s. Yeah, no, I understand. I know what it's like to still be young, because I will say 40s are young. Maybe it's because I'm closing in on my 40s, but I never thought I'd get to my 30s, so I'm happy with that. I think I just want to be like my great grandmother. I think she, on my dad's side, lived in into her 90s. The women on my mom's side, they don't seem to live too long, and I want to live longer, but don't we all? Nice, first baby born. Yeah, they would probably do that. Um, the one person that was born before me was a baby boy. I don't know much aside from that, but this was all stuff that my mom told me. I do know that I was born at 8:16 in the morning, and my mom spent 36 hours in labor. So all the stuff my mom wanted to let me know I was a pain from the day I was here. But I think that's what parents always do. They do the "oh, when you were a kid" thing. It's so funny. So let's see. Do we want to do our next sprint in 2 minutes? It'd be 150, and you want to go for another 20? Would that be good? 20s are good. I mean, they're just even numbers. And again, I might cut it short and go only till 2:30. I know I definitely have to get off by 3. I've got another sprint at 10 in the morning. So I need to make sure I get some sleep. It was funny when I started watching, well, when 13 Going on 30 came out, and I do like good chick lit. Although I write about horror and stuff, I still like chick lit type movies and romantic comedies. But when I saw 13 Going on 30, I think, oh, was I in my early 20s or 19? I don't know. I can't remember, but I did think it was hilarious, going, hmm, is 30 really going to be so young, or are we going to be that old? I don't know if I'll be too much of a zombie, Devin. I can normally bounce back, but it's going to feel weird because usually I don't wake up till 1 o'clock, 1300. So it'll be an experience, but it might mean that I don't have a sprint at 1 o'clock in the morning the next day. It just depends. Well, we hit the 150 mark, so that means we are going to do another sprint for 20 minutes. So I will see you back here at 2:10, and we will do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, you know what time it is. We are finished with this sprint. And it looks like Ayane had entered the chat. Welcome, good morning. I might cut this chat early today, but that's only because I have a 10 a.m. chat that I need to get to. And um, I just figure I should probably get some sleep, or I'll be falling asleep at that chat. Let's see. So I got 481 words with that sprint. I actually had to rewrite the ending of an entire chapter, so it took a little longer. Plus, I was getting more water. Yes, it's flavored water right now. I'm not sure if I will end this at 2:30 or if I'm just going to continue to go till 3 like I had said. I just, if you guys have any ideas on how you'd like to, let me know, and also let me know how you did in this sprint. Hopefully, I'm going to wait till it pops up in here. This is chapter 10. Okay. Got distracted by the cat, wrote 150, and I think I'm done for the night. Need to stretch out my back, but I'll still hang in the chat. That's fine. Like I said, definitely take care of yourself, and it's still awesome to hear that you're getting words in because that's the whole point of the sprints. Every time I have somebody tell me, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to do nano because I can't do 50,000 words," and I'll tell them, don't think of it like it's 50,000 words. Think of it as if it's you're creating a writing habit, a daily writing habit, because that's really the whole point of why Nano started. It was a group of writers who wanted to step up their writing, and they chose 50,000 because that was actually a good length for a standard novel at the time, a young adult novel type. I believe, trying to think if they started when YA was a thing. See, I've been around before YA was a thing, so I'm not sure. I can't remember, but it's. So I like to keep it that way. I like to keep it at, just think about making yourself write every day. That's what I think of. Now, I have one every year I've done Nano, and I've done Nano since 2009, but that's also because I like writing a lot. Let's see. Absolutely. 500 words is still good, though. I think any bit, there are days when I'm like, am I even going to get 2 words in? That's why I don't worry too much. I'll have days where I don't get much writing in, and then I'll get days where I've got 5,000 words. It just depends on what it is. And there are actually some professional writers that, I don't know if Stephen King's one of them, but it's like, all I want is to be able to get 500 or 1,000 words in an hour or even a day, and then that's all they care for. Nice. First time doing Nano. I hope to have my next rough draft done by the end of the year. Good luck. I think it's definitely possible. I mean, I have seen people come onto Nano and they write 100,000 words. Now, there are some people that'll decide to then query that right back to an agent, and I always discourage that, and so do many agents for that matter, because if you're going to give them the book that you just finished without editing, that's a big no-no. It's like, I'm just automatically trying trying to write again. So I think we're going to do the next sprint at 2:20, and we can go for another 20 minutes. That'll bring us up to 2:40, and then we could talk for a little bit until I end it at 3, or I could just end it then. It would go a little over the 2:30 mark, but I'm okay with that. I did originally say that this was going to be until 3 in the morning, and that was only because I forgot I had the other stream that I'm co-hosting. Let's see. Yeah, plan is to get rough draft done by December 31st and then edit. Yeah. There's also a lot of people that'll try to get the rough draft out fully in November and then use December to edit. I think they call it like, oh, trying to think. We've got Preptober, NaNoWriMo. I can't even remember what they call December. Edit December or something. I don't know. I have so many I have so many books that I don't know. I don't think I've actually ever finished any entire draft in November. I think I have, I've gotten to the goal for NaNoWriMo or Camp Nano, but I don't think I've actually finished a book because a lot of my books go from 80 to 90,000, although with the middle grade books that I'm doing, they kind of fit into this better. And if anyone wants, I'll ask this. Do you guys like traditional publishing, self-publishing, a hybrid where you do both? Or have you guys not even, thought about doing that? It's just about writing right now, which is totally okay. You definitely don't need to have your plan right now. I actually have a small story that I used to tell my husband back when we were dating that I was a professional writer. I am a professional writer. Um, and one day he looked at me and he said, "What is the indication of a professional writer?" Because it's not like I had an agent at the time and, I didn't have anything traditionally published. And he said, "What do you consider a professional writer?" And I said, "Well, my first full-length manuscript I wrote was when I was 12. And I did a small bit of editing. I really didn't know much about it. And then I sent it to Tor Publishing so that it could get published." And he goes, "Yeah, I can consider that professional because even when I was 12, I was already working toward publication. I actually have been published. In I do have a book out, although as Devin has heard me say several times, it's not one that I advertise because it's 10 years old and it needs a lot of editing. But if Devin's still on, he'll probably put a link to it. So that seems to be what he likes to do, which I'm okay with. Let's see. Self-published a book and it's released. So far, that's the plan. Awesome. Yeah, I think it's definitely a choice that a lot of people decide. I knew when I was 12, I always wanted to be traditionally published. It was my goal. I'll probably eventually do a hybrid because um, paranormal romance tends to do better when it's self-published than when it is traditionally published. So, but that's not the series that I'm trying to get an agent with right now. Yep. For anyone who wants to get Stephanie's book, Devin's given us the link, which is awesome. Yeah, he'll definitely advertise. And there we go. You put up my book. Just so you know, it is 10 years old, so I've definitely improved, and I'm always going to say that. I would take it down and improve it, but the email that's tied to it no longer exists, and I can't remember the password to get into that email. So my husband and I are trying to work out what we're going to do to take it down because we are editing it. I actually have physical copies, but I think they're in I think they are hiding at this moment. But it is the 20 mark. And like I said, we're going to go for 20 more minutes. And this is probably going to be the last sprint because I'm not going over 3 o'clock today. Now, that doesn't mean the other streams are not going to go over 3 o'clock. It's just this one I can't. All right, so we are going to meet back here at 2:40. Remember to save your documents, to hydrate, and if you need to get up and walk and exercise, definitely do that. All right. What's my book about? My book is actually about a group of vampire hunters that travel into the Adirondack Mountains to find the secret vampire city that has been living under humans' noses. And I use a lot of old mythology um, when making it, except that my vampires are actually aliens because I wanted them to be completely from a different world. And that's nice. I'm going to have to look into your book there, Devin. I didn't know that you co-wrote one. But anyway, we have to get through this sprint. So remember that we are sprinting until 2:40 or 2:41. So we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and sprint. All right, that is time. How did everyone do? And thank you, Stephanie, for getting my book. I appreciate it. We're kind of on the fence. My husband and I will read it, and we'll sorry, my cat's playing with his tennis ball, so you will hear it bouncing back and forth. Um, my husband and I will read the book, and we'll sit there and go, there's so much wrong with it, and then other people will read it and go, oh my God, it's so good. So it's like that's what happens when you have like he's not just my co-author, but he's also a freelance editor. So you'll get people that are entrenched in the publishing world, and we're so hypercritical on our own work. But other people will read it and they'll be like, "Oh, this is great, it's fabulous, best thing since sliced bread." So I got 457 words on that one. I was going to actually let him come up here, but my cat, but Asheron is not really fond of being placed in somebody's lap without his wanting it. So that's just not his thing. I do appreciate that there are writers that like to write, at least where I'm at in America, late. Um, for some, it might be morning, and for others, it might be a little less late than what I'm at. And I appreciate it. I'm not the only one sitting here writing. See, Tamama Wright says, I got my word count in earlier and then got lost in a mini marathon of the strain. Another thing I've never seen. I just don't watch a lot of TV. I mean, I'll watch reruns or if I want to have something that I desperately want to watch, I'll find a way to watch it. But I don't tend to watch anything new, which I guess is bad because writers are supposed to keep up with the new stuff. I mean, I'll read books. I'll read the new stuff when it comes to books. Is Strain like a sickness type mini series? Like it deals with a pandemic? Because I know we've had some of those type a couple years ago. Believe me, my husband's been trying to get me to rewatch The Pandemic because he's like, "Oh, we need to watch it right now," and I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because I really don't want to. All right. So in total tonight, I have written 2,142 words. That is not bad. I think I'm still about 1,000 or so behind, but it's okay. Nice. Vampires via parasitic worm disease. I love how people will come up with new ways to make the mythos of vampires work. The interesting thing is that vampires and zombies, up until around Bram Stoker's time, when he did Dracula, they were mostly still presented as the same thing. Zombies and vampires were always the same thing. And I like looking at how we've come up with a lot of our mythology. Most of it was written to try to scare people into obedience. Certain things don't go into the forest, you'll never come out because of so and so. went in 5 or 10 years ago and never came back. They were kidnapped by fairies, and fairies ate them. Mythology is a lot darker than some people realize, and that's what I love about mythology. I actually I grabbed a book at one point from the library that was called like Body Snatchers or something, and well, it was called Zombies, and I was like, huh, I wonder if this is going to be the mythology behind zombies. No, it was actually the history of body snatching. It did talk about zombies and a bit of voodoo and, how people thought about body snatching, but it really was like the title and the cover grabbed your attention, and then you realize it was a history book, but I really liked it. Yeah, I try to get my word count in before. I try to get it in before, but I can never write during the day. It's just too distracting for me. I'm also doing like query letters, talking to my writing groups. I'm actually leading a writing group right now, so we're discussing Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So my days are normally filled with the other half of writing and publishing, whereas my night times are when I can actually sit down and write without too much distraction. Although my cat's awake, so definitely. So she continues, it is pretty interesting because it's got the medical angle, but also ties in the typical vampire things with a master in a coffin and stuff. That's pretty cool. It makes me wonder if the parasitic worm kind of mind controls them, because why would they bring in a parasitic worm disease, and it changes and alters somebody to the point where they do the old mythology, with the coffins and the masters and stuff. It's interesting. I'm kind of wondering how they took their how they how they spun it. Maybe I have to watch it now. I'm probably still going to try to do a stream at 1 o'clock tomorrow in the morning, unless I'm just really, really tired from getting up at 10 in the morning to do it. Well, earlier than 10 to do a stream. That's true to Mama. It might be spoilers to tell me. Fun fact, what I do is if somebody starts talking about something, I just Google it and look up the whole plot. It doesn't stop me from wanting to watch it because like my husband says, you can sit there and tell me what it's like on paper, but how you write the execution counts. That's why he doesn't care what idea I bring him. He's like, okay, write it. I need to see how you deliver the idea. That's an editor thing for you. It's very much, I don't care about your idea. I want to see how this is written. I think that's why when an agent looks at a query letter, they don't just, if the idea grabs them, they're like, well, I want to see how this is written. Because it can either be good or bad. Or mediocre, I guess. I hope you guys are enjoying the sprints. I know I'm actually very productive doing this. Um, it like 2000, it's a lot better than what I was doing before I started the sprints. And it's really hard to find anyone up this late, at least for me. Most people are asleep or they haven't woken up yet. So it's really good to It's really good. It's helped me. I hope it's helped you guys. And normally I would be like, okay, let's go till 3:30. It's just like, probably not tonight. Yeah, I usually get the most done with sprints. Yeah, so do I. At least especially with 2020. Before 2020, I would because I was able to work my job since I own my own business. Hey Simon, we're actually going to be ending at 3 because I have a sprint. I'm co-hosting a write-in at 10 in the morning. But I hope you've been, if you just joined us, I apologize. Um, I should hopefully still have another one up at 1 in the morning again, and it'll probably go longer than this one does because that just seems to be it. Let's see, you think I wouldn't because several chunks of time get eaten up by chatting in between? No, I understand. I actually enjoy the in between chattings because it it actually feels rather like you're with somebody. Uh, I've been thinking about possibly inviting people to co-host with me, so I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. But again, I'd have to find somebody who's willing to be up this late with me and willing to be on camera. Oh yeah, Simon, I'm planning on doing these at 1 o'clock in the morning. If you guys think 1 o'clock is too late, I could always try midnight and make it a little longer. But I know that there are some people that are still doing sprints at midnight, so I'm trying not to step on their toes because, I think making sure people have enough airtime is a good thing. It makes us less likely to decide which one we want to join or set up 5 different computers to have 5 different sprints going on, although that'd be kind of funny. See, Tamama says, before the plague, I always wrote best in public, like the library. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I actually I would go to cafes if I didn't have a job at the time because I owned my own business as an auditor, so times would be, hit miss. I got a contract and I go out and I deal with the auditing and I would go to several states and either I didn't have a contract that day or I finished it really early because I had to be up at like 3 to 5 in the morning. So like my time is really flipped from what I used to do. I would go to a cafe afterwards or just a cafe in the morning and I'd actually write 8 to 12 hours. Normally I'd be done. And if I dropped my husband off to work, because he's a teacher, I would actually go pick him up. We Sometimes it was fun, especially if we had some couples thing we were doing at night, because we like to play Dungeons and Dragons. And then we would just take one car instead of two. No, I understand, Simon. Living in Asia, so you're late. You're late is my early. That's understandable. I think Ayane, sorry, butchering names. I apologize. I think I think she said yesterday that she's in Asia too, which is fine. I mean, I had forgotten that I had a 10 a.m. Sprint until I was reminded it, and then I was like, "Oops!" So I wanted to make sure that I cut this short so that I get some sleep. I mean, heck, I could even see if I can eventually move these up till 4. Even if I don't have anyone talking to me, I feel like there's still people in the room. Although I feel a little weird being the only one actually physically yapping. I do hope you guys had a good amount of sprints. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's dying. That would be it. Now my computer's dying, so it's telling me that it was definitely time. Sorry. Oh great, now it just falls. Sorry about that. Just making sure you're awake. Yeah, that's what I think too. The universe is saying you're gonna be there, right? Well, you got a nice picture of my ceiling fan. And the Papusan's actually over there. So I just didn't want to sit in it today. So I sat at the desk. And this thing gets really hot if it's on my lap. And normally a lot of you know that I I handwrite. It's just this book was already handwritten, so I needed to get it onto the computer. Thanks, Devin. Nice ceiling fan. Yeah, this whole place is 10 years old. It has not been updated at all, which frustrates me a bit, but it's an apartment, so what can you do? You have to comply. Yeah, I was actually really shocked yesterday and even today getting the amount of people I did here because you always think everyone's sleeping when you're up. And you find out, oh wait, there are actually people and they want to write. I do hope Nano's going well for you guys. And again, you could always adopt the philosophy that I have, where even if you don't make the 50,000 words, as long as you're writing, you try to write every day, then I think you're a winner. I mean, that I believe that is definitely the most important thing is to if you want to write every day, try to write every day. Is there anything else anyone wanted to type in? It's going good so far, thank you. Are you behind, or are you ahead, or kind of just at least making it there? I think I'm still almost 2,000 behind. Oh yeah, definitely. I think consistency is far best. Is you know, but you don't have to. Well, writers are on the fence. Some say you have to write every single day, which I understand is definitely a good philosophy. And before 2020, I wrote every single day. It's been a little harder to do right now. Uh, my office was never at home. Now it's all home. It's a bit frustrating for me. See, Tamama Wright says, I feel like if I can't get the 50,000, it'd be because I wrote myself into a corner plot wise. So what I do when I hit a corner in plot is I will put 12 different ways I think the story can go, even if they're ridiculous. And then I will pick a few out to try to write at least a paragraph or a sentence with. And if I keep going, then I will hopefully write myself out of that corner. But if that doesn't work, then doing something else helps. Reading a book, going for a walk. watching TV sometimes. No, I got that, yeah. I am typically a pantser, Simon, but I will do plotting here and there. So, I mean, they call it a planter, but for the most part, when I start a book, I just start a book, and that's just how it goes. I mean, this is not, this is only one of the things Uh, I'm doing this year. I also have all my short stories I'm working on. Mama says I'm in between, already modifying my semi-outline. Yeah, for me, I hate outlining. For me, when I outline, I feel like I'm putting myself in a corner where I have to do what the outline says, which I know you don't have to, but try telling my brain that because I've tried for years and it still doesn't work. I'm just waiting for any other comments before I turn off for the night. Turn off for the night. Tamama writes, says I used to write like notebook long outlines, not anymore. Devin says, if you get stuck, kill a character or have two hook up. Either way, you'll have consequences to write about. Yeah, yeah. But when you start writing a sequel to a book, if you're doing series, you have to be very careful about who you kill off. I was actually talking to Stephanie earlier. She might still be on, but I was talking about how sequels are much harder to write because now you've got everything cemented. Yeah, sacrifice the character to the writing gods. Yep. No problem. Thank you for joining us, Simon. And I do need to sign off because I really do need to get sleep. It was really great to have you guys, and I'm glad that I have writers that want to stay up and write with me. Uh, Again, Devin might pop up the link, but Zara's having a sprint that I'm co-hosting tomorrow on her channel at 10 in the morning. I think it's Eastern time, my time. I don't know if it's Eastern for her. Oh, I don't like that come back from the dead stuff. Oh, if they're dead, they die. They stay that way. That's my personal thought on that. It's really, for me, it's a ringer to put your writers into that emotional twist and then go, oopsie. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z, definitely. Yeah, they get wished back. It was fun, but yet at the same time, it really took the place of death being permanent. And if you don't want your death, if you want something to hurt your characters, you need to figure out your line. But yeah, so if anyone is interested, you guys can subscribe, hit the notification bell. Apparently, I'm going to be doing these every day, probably at one in the morning. Hopefully, I'll have one up at 1 this time, unless I get too tired for needing to wake up early. I'm not sure. Uh, I hope you guys enjoy all the writing, and if you're interested in learning more about calligraphy, those videos are still on their way. They just take, oh, thank you, Devin, 10 a.m. Eastern. I figured that was the case because it was 10 a.m. my time at least. So regardless of Easter, yeah, I'm glad that you'll be catching some to Mama. I'm going to be not just first I'm going to show people the tools of the trade, and I'm going to help people learn the different basic strokes, and then I'm going to help learn different styles, different fonts, and then I will also teach you how to do it through ballpoint and brush pens, since those are different. I actually use my fountain pens for this. So, but I go into all of that, and because all of my books that I handwrite are done in calligraphy, it's kind of a therapeutic thing for me, so I enjoy it. But anyways, I am rattling on, so I need to definitely hit the hay. So it's good to see you guys, and I hope I'll see you guys again next spring. Bye bye.